Welcome everybody to the Sarpy County and Cities Wastewater Agency meeting. Today's Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. It's 4 p.m. Copy of the Nebraska open meeting rules are on the wall of the agency boardroom. In attendance today, we have the Mayor of Springfield, Bob Roseland, the Mayor of Gretna, Mike Evans, the Mayor of La Vista, Doug Kindig, the City Administrator for Bellevue, Jim Ristow, the Mayor of Papillion, David Black, and I'm Don Kelly, Sarpy County Commissioner. We also have our agency administrator, Dan Hoynes, our agency project engineer, Jeff Thompson, our agency legal counsel, Adam Charleston, and our secretary today is Lisa Hare. If you would, silence your cell phones. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pretty short agenda today. Before we get started, any comments from the agency board? Administrator?
And Mr. Chairman, member mayors, I did send an email out that made it around you that the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners yesterday approved the two agreements on their agenda for the WIFIA service agreement. Included in that is the commitment to do a backstop for this WIFIA loan. The second agreement they did was an amendment to the SRF loan. I just saw it today too. A WIFIA requirement was a Moody's bond rating for this. That was just issued. The county maintained its AAA bond rating, and they specifically mentioned that this bond rating was for the purpose of backstopping this particular WIFIA loan. So I'll send that out. But regular meeting with the administrators tomorrow. I'm working with agency legal counsel to create a path forward / checklist. The goal is to get this WIFIA loan finalized no later than October 25th. We have hopes of getting that next Wednesday. The final loan documents submitted to the county board on Tuesday, the 17th, and this body on the 18th, and that is the last checklist for approval of the WIFIA loan. So we'll then be able to execute those contracts that you approved on the 27th and get this project going. So
can WIFIA sign off on it that quickly if we get it to them? Like, can they sign off on it in that day or two?
Yeah, yes. So they've indicated, and maybe when we get into, maybe I'll defer to Adam because he's had the direct conversation. I mean, my understanding is timing the 25th is achievable, right? Or the 18th next week.
Yes, we get the loan agreement authorized next week and executed by the agency there right thereafter. The WIFIA folks have had all indication that this will be closed and funded by the end of the month.
So all they'll have to do is review the service agreement and incorporate that into their loan process.
Yeah,
and
they've seen the final drafts of those things already. Right. So as part of and I can get this later or do it now, but the conditions precedent to funding and executing that loan agreement is sending them signed copies of all these SRF documents and the service agreements.
And the drop dead date for Hawkins is
end of the month.
So
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I'll conclude my reports there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Jeff Thompson, project engineer.
Chairman Kelly, agency member mayors, thank you. Not a lot to report on the construction side of things. We just had a meeting not too long ago, but did hold our weekly construction meeting with the team this morning at the job site trailer, and they are intending on starting to string pipe for the next segment of work that would be authorized under this WIFIA loan starting next week, fusing pipe and getting ready to get started. So don't want to be too presumptuous with the board's actions here today, but we're putting our foot in the gas and hoping to get this thing done and get it operational by the end of 2024 as expected. I'll answer any questions you might have.
No? Thanks. Adam, did you have anything else?
Just real brief, one of the items on the agenda today is to approve the First Amendment to the SRF service agreement. That is the first of several that we'll want to get executed and sent over. This one will go to NDEE, so that will trigger the DocuSign process on the other amendments, but they need to see the county and agency service agreement fully executed. County approved it last night, and that's on this agenda for tonight, so.
Okay. I did have an alibi. I forgot to mention. Been working with Mayor Kendig to get the agency administrator position advertised. Well, first of all, written and advertised. Been getting a lot of support from the city of La Vista to do that, and MAPA for sure. And I think it's posted, isn't it?
I think I'll have more information next week, but I think it hit some publications today. And the deadline on that is either going to be November 3rd, probably November 10th, which would be a full month to give notice. And I'll provide everybody where it's being published, but I think it's going to be at least 10 different organizations or associations. Some of those do charge a minimal fee. And then as we go through this, when we do decide on a candidate, we're going to have to do a background check and that type of thing. My HR department's telling me that's under $500, so I made an assumption that we could go ahead and do that through the agency. So
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I gave her guidance that whatever the costs are, just keep track of them, and then we'll put it to the agency for.
So we should have applications in, and the timeline is roughly first round of applications would be November 15th. And hopefully those would only take a week or so to get everybody. And if we've got any out of region applicants, instead of flying them in, all of the first round interviews will be Zoom. And then there could be some expense if we come down to 2 finalists and two of them have to fly in, but we're not there today. We would hope maybe to make an offer by December 1st to meet the county deadline of January 1st on it. So we'll keep you informed, but that's gone well.
Okay, any questions on that? All right, gets us to the agenda here. We have one item on the consent agenda. It's the minutes from our September 27th meeting. Motion, please.
Motion. Papillion.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Papillion, a second by Springfield. Any questions or discussion? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carries.
Okay, item 2 is executive session, legal matter. We've determined we do not need that. So we will move on to agenda item 3, which is resolution 2023-036, approving and authorizing the execution of the Water Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act WIFIA funding service agreement, First Amendment to the Nebraska Department of Environment and Energy Service Agreement, the First Amendment to the Nebraska Department of Environment and Energy Planning and Construction Loan Agreements. Adam, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thank you, Chairman Kelly. The primary document here on this resolution is the first one, the WIFIA service agreement. As Dan alluded to, it's the backstop for the WIFIA loan. In many respects, it's very similar to the SRF service agreement, with exception of the step-in, as I call it, provisions in Section 7. The other documents here are the related NDE SRF loan amendments and the amendment to the SRF service agreement. Those are primarily done to document the parity status between WIFIA, the EPA, and Nebraska Department of Environment and Energy on their loans, so that way, and that's also a condition precedent to our Whitfield loan, is to make sure that we get SRF sign off on that. So happy to answer any questions, but I recommend its approval.
Questions for Adam? Okay, then I'll take a motion on Resolution 36.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Papillion, second by Gretna. Comments?
Yeah, I just want to thank each of the members, professional staff, the administrators, and legal that came together and did a lot of heavy lifting on that Section 7. I think they did heroic work over a real short period of time, so I just want to say thanks to them.
For sure. Anybody else? I made some comments yesterday, and at the county approval, about what a big deal this is. We're talking about 2017, you know, we were all down in Lincoln, or most of us were, and we were going like, boy, if we could pull this off, it'll be like, you know, miracles. And of course, we thought we'd have toilets flushing in 2019.
Dan did.
But here we are. So again, I mean, we sit on the dais up here, but the work's done by the administrators. You know, Dan's leadership's been instrumental, and of course the city's administrators have just, I mean, they do yeoman's and yeowoman's work. They're so smart about it, you know. I mean, the details. The devil's always in the details, and they plow through them, and they made this agreement a lot better than it was when we started, and have set us up for success. So this is exciting. I was just anecdotally driving down 72nd Street today, and I see all this construction going on that's going to be serviced by the new sewer agency. And once we, in just a short amount of time, once we start flushing those toilets, the growth's going to explode. And I'm certain of it, because people want to live where we live, because they're all figuring out what we already know. This is a great place to live. It's a great place to work. It's a great place to raise a family. And this is going to enhance all that. So thanks again, especially to the administrators. And of course, Adam, appreciate your help getting us through this. These last 3 weeks have been very trying at times, but you know, you pulled everybody together, and we got here. So thank you.
Well, I just have to add that Adam's last 3 weeks, you know, your request of, you know, could he have that to you by 9 p.m. may have added to that a little bit, Don. But he seemed to always deliver. I know that with my involvement in stuff, I echo what everybody said, but I'd like you to take back to your county board and tell them that we realize that this doesn't do anything without their financial backing. And eventually the trust that they showed in us is, it's a great thing, but the whole county board, obviously, with your leadership, needs to be given a whole lot of accolades on that, so.
Well, I appreciate that. I'll pass that along. All right, let's vote.
Yes, Lisa.
Oh, you can't, you're yes. Yea, 6, nays none, motion carries.
Okay, our next meeting is next week, October 18th, 2023 at 4 o'clock. And all the agenda items having been addressed as published, and the agency board is adjourned.